Hey, back for another video. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. So if you didn't know, it's all kind of chaos breaking out in Europe, in the UK, Germany, Paris, Poland, the only country because they don't let illegal immigrants in their country, except for their neighbors, the Ukraine, due to the war. Spain, they all fed up and they are rioting over in UK because apparently three little girls were stabbed and they thought it was from an illegal asylum seeker, and it was someone who was born there, but his parents are from Rwanda. But he was, I believe he was born there, honey. They've been tearing it up. They so sick of these migrants. But I'm gonna show you what's going on over in Europe. They don't play over there. They let they leaders know how exactly how they feel. While we just let everything just pass by, we don't do a damn thing over here. I had everything planned and everything is gone. You can't make this stuff up. Now I got to start from the beginning. Hold on. You can I had everything planned. Just give me a minute. Like, share, subscribe. Okay, here we go. I'm getting to it. And I'm gonna add Canada to this too. Now what happened? Oh Lord, now I done went too far. Can't make this up. I had everything set up. I'm almost there. I cannot. I'm just there. It's so much that I got on this. Okay, we're gonna start at this one.
Anti-immigration rioters attack a hotel in Rotherham as the violence grows and the Prime Minister calls out far-right thuggery.
I won't shy away from calling it what it is. Far-right thuggery. To those who feel targeted because of the colour of your skin or your faith, I know how frightening this must be. I want you to know.
Good evening. Even in Rotherham, rioters shouted, "Get them out," broke windows, and some appeared to smash their way inside a hotel housing asylum seekers. chairs and fence posts were thrown at police who were continuing to deal with disorder outside the Holiday Inn hotel. We'll be live in Middlesbrough tonight, where some 300 protesters gathered at the town's cenotaph with chants of "We want our country back." It follows yesterday's unrest in several towns and cities across England and Northern Ireland. We also report from Liverpool on what the police called a night of deplorable violence in which 23 people were arrested, while the violence escalated rapidly in Rotherham this afternoon as rioters attacked a hotel housing full is responsible. While in Middlesbrough, a crowd of around 300 people marched through the town centre, some attacking police, others smashing the windows of houses and cars. From Middlesbrough, our chief correspondent, Alex Thompson, has this report.
Today, Yorkshire, Rotherham. Crowds clashing with police outside a hotel where immigrants are being housed. Bottles and furniture thrown at the police, masked men shouting Yorkshire. A bin set on fire by rioters with little regard for anyone inside the hotel.
Wow.
The police force at times appearing outnumbered.
Right now, there are attacks happening on a hotel in Rotherham. Marauding gangs intent on law breaking, or worse, windows smashed. Don't fear. There is no justification, none, for taking this action.
Early afternoon, hundreds had gathered in Middlesbrough's city centre. Everyone we spoke to condemned the violence, hated the term hard right. They just feel immigration's out of control, opinions forceful, and to many fanciful.
It's our country and we're getting pushed out. I understand how the Native Indians felt in America now, because that's what the white man did when he pushed them out. Only it's the white man getting pushed out of this country.
Well, I hope everything goes peaceful. I think that's what the majority of the families and that have come here today is for. Peaceful demonstrations, no riots. No, we don't want to be like everybody else labelled far right.
So first, this man let his flag do the talking. It's been a lot of aggro, it's been a lot of trouble. That can't be right.
No, it isn't right. It's we're not condoning it, but people.
Do you condemn it?
I condemn it, but what I'm saying is people now are at boiling point.
First, a moment's silence for the 3 girls murdered in Southport. And then the march. Along the city's main Linthorpe Road, scuffles with riot police as one group tried to break the police cordon. City centre mosques asked worshippers to stay away this weekend because of safety fears. We witnessed several arrests. The police say the total is 16 so far.
And so the familiar pattern unfolds. The crowd now swelled to close on 1,000 people or more. It's true, some abhor the violence, they condemn it, but hundreds are intent on having a fight.
A number of vehicles were attacked today, and 3 burned out in a suburb in the early hours. And at a number of points, bricks, bottles and cans were thrown at the police lines. More than 4,000 extra police officers now stand ready, with the court system gearing up for round-the-clock hearings. In a country which now imprisons peaceful climate protesters for several years, how will the courts deal with this? Not much comfort, perhaps, to hard-working people, though, with businesses and livelihoods wrecked.
Now, did you see here they say a country that imprisons peaceful climate protesters for a couple of years? This is coming to a city near you in America. Watch. Martial law coming. Watch. Stock up on food and water. Watch.
Now starting the laborious cleanup.
Well, yes, news just in the late this afternoon, the Home Secretary has announced a national plan for beefing up security mosques across the country. Here in Middlesbrough, pretty quiet. As you can see, people told to keep away from the city centre. The violence is continuing in the Linthorpe Road area. It's just over there. Police helicopter you can probably hear overhead. A telling moment just before we came on air right here. One of the march organisers, who we've come to know, came over and showed us a bucket full of cash collected at today's rally, sent to the families of the victims tragically killed in Southport. He was visibly angry at what had happened, but he said, the problem is, Alex, we can't control this. We're just a few people who want a peaceful rally. There's hundreds more who don't. A pretty telling comment from someone.
Wow, look. Watch this one.
Now let's turn our attention to the UK, where the riots show no sign of dying down. They began in the seaside town of Southport last week, after the brutal stabbing there left 3 young children dead. The children were murdered by a British national, a 17-year-old of Rwandan heritage, who was born in Wales. But this attack sparked nationwide anti-Muslim riots. The police say that the attacker had no known links to Islam, but the British rioters do not believe that. They have chosen to believe rumors that they heard online about the attacker being a Muslim migrant. And that is why the riots began. The rioters have been targeting mosques and hotels being used to house asylum seekers. Both these groups are terrified. They're afraid of being attacked.
The Muslim communities are terrorized. If I'm going to use the word, they are terrorized. They fear for their safety. They fear that they cannot go out. They fear that anything could happen. Like we saw that taxi drivers have been attacked. So people cannot really go and do their day-to-day job realistically, because Uber drivers have been attacked, taxi drivers attacked, women are threatened, mosques vandalized. And this is becoming the kind of, in the last few days, the activity that is happening on a daily basis across different regions.
I feel very stressed, and it's very distressing moment in our life. We've never seen this kind of far-right group active against anti-immigrant. So we're living fear, and this could be, anything could happen to us, and we are living fear.
The British police force has been trying to stop the rioters, but they don't seem to have the numbers, and now they're also dealing with counter-protesters. These were the scenes from Plymouth yesterday. It's a city in southwest England. The two groups faced off against each other. There were the anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant rioters on one side and the counter-protesters on the other. You can hear them chanting slogans of unity.
On immigration.
It's a valiant effort, but it hasn't stopped the violence in Britain. While this was going on in Plymouth, here's what was happening in Belfast, in Northern Ireland. Rioters set buildings and various objects on fire using petrol.
Now this Ireland, they've been on it.
These bombs and other objects at the police.
They've been rioting in Ireland for months about the migrants, or supposed to be asylum seekers. Ireland been tearing it up.
Massive failure of law and order. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer is scrambling to come up with a solution.
First is we will have a standing army of specialist officers, public duty officers, so that we'll have enough officers to deal with this where we need them. We'll ramp up criminal justice. There have already been hundreds of arrests. Some have appeared in court this morning. I've asked for early consideration of the earliest naming and identification of those involved in the process, who will feel the full force of the law. And thirdly, I've been absolutely clear that the criminal law applies online as well as offline, and I'm assured that that's the approach that is being taken.
So now I'm going to read this about what they doing if you post online. If this is not, if we not going into straight censorship or Orwellian government, 1994. Let me that leads me into that. Let me find it. I think it is. UK police commissioner threatens to extradite jail US citizens over online posts will come after you. So that's what they saying. If you're riding or you post anything online, you will be arrested. London's oh shoot. London's Metropolitan Police Chief warned that officials would not only be cracking down on British citizens for commentary on riots or participating, but what they post online. And they're also coming for American citizens as well that is in their country. We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you, says Metropolitan Police Commissioner Sir Mark Riley. Riots have broken out across the United Kingdom in recent days over false rumors spread online that a asylum seeker, like I said earlier, three little girls were unalive, and apparently it was um, a Rwandan uh, man who unalived the three little girls. His parents are from Rwanda, but he was born in Europe, and they feel that he's Muslim. So they burning down the mosque, they doing everything. But getting back to this article, the unalive alleged committed by now 18-year-old British citizen born to Rwandan parents sparked a series of violent protests that tapped into broader concerns about the scale of immigration in the UK. Footage of the violent clashes involving anti-immigration protesters and groups of counter protesters, some of whom have been seen waving Palestinian flags, has gone viral on social media, and the government is warning that sharing such content may have serious consequences. One key aspect that makes this apparent crackdown on social media particularly shocking to critics is that British government is threatening to extradite American citizens from the US to be jailed in the UK for violating their rules about political speech online. You can't make this up. You can't make a Sky News reporter asked Commissioner Riley to further explain his warning, arguing that high profile figures have been whipping up the hatred and the likes of Elon Musk have been getting involved. She then asked what the police force plans to be when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behavior from behind the keyboard who may be in a different country. Raleigh answered the reporter saying being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. Wow. I'm just reporting on it. You can be guilty of offenses of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous serious offenses regarding the publishing of material. All of these offenses are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets. And we will come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and yobs who are causing problems for the communities. Elon Musk has made headlines for criticizing Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer's response to the riots over the past week, suggesting the UK is headed toward civil war. Sound familiar? Coming to a city near you in the US. He also responded to a video of someone allegedly arrested for offensive online comments with a question. Is this Britain or the Soviet Union? Stammer's spokesman said there was no justification for Musk's media companies can and should be doing more to combat misinformation, the BBC reported. He added that such companies have a responsibility to stop the spread of criminal activity and limit misinformation. Getting back to the video. I forgot I had that article actually.
Starmer plans to set up a standing army of specialist officers. British courts will sit for all 24 hours of the day. They will work around the clock to sentence the rioters. 400 people have been arrested so far. They could face up to 10 years in prison. Jail capacity in the UK has been increased to make room for all the rioters and for the people instigating the riots online. One man has already been charged for hateful Facebook posts. And that is what Starmer meant when he said that criminal law applies both online and offline. The British Prime Minister is trying to put an end to the violence. He's clearly struggling, though. And amid all of this, he's found himself in a war of words with Elon Musk, the billionaire owner of social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. It started with this. Musk replied to a post about the riots saying, "Civil war is inevitable." That's what he said. Obviously, Keir Starmer did not take kindly to this. The British government called Musk, and I'm quoting, deeply irresponsible and deplorable. But that has not stopped Musk. He has called the British police response one-sided. He has criticized the British Prime Minister's action plan and he opposed. That is why several countries have issued advisories to their citizens. Australia is one of them. It says there's a threat of terrorism in the UK. Malaysia is another. It has warned its citizens to stay away from protests and remain vigilant. Nigeria too has issued warning. It has asked people from the Nigerian community to avoid large gatherings. And rounding off the list of concerned former colonies is India. Indians visiting the UK have been asked to exercise due caution. These warnings and advisories are the need of the hour because the British rioters are clearly targeting people on the basis of race and religion. What's to stop them from attacking tourists next? Britain's racist genie is truly out of the bottle, and it is spreading fires and hatred in all corners of the country. Even if Keir Starmer manages to quell the violence, how will he tackle the ingrained racism in British society?
Honey, they over there acting. Listen, they acting a fool. Hold on. Let me see. I got more. And my stuff keep moving. It just makes me so upset. Okay, here we go.
Riots have erupted at anti-immigration protests in towns and cities across Britain in the last week, with attacks by far-right groups on hotels housing asylum seekers and on mosques. The protests began on July 29th after three groups event for children in Southport, Northern England. 8 other children and 2 adults were injured. A 17-year-old male was arrested, and false rumors on social media claimed the suspect was an Islamist migrant, sparking violent anti-Muslim protests the next day and an attempted attack on the town's mosque. The teenager, who has been charged with murder and attempted murder, was born in Britain, and the police are not treating the incident as terrorism.
Here because in the wake of the Southport murders, they have seized an opportunity to try and attack asylum seekers and refugees across the country, and they've spread that to a general attack on anybody they perceive to be non-white.
The day after the Southport incident, thousands gathered near Starmer's Dean Street office in central London, resulting in over 100 arrests after clashes with police. Riots have since erupted in more than 20 locations across Britain, including...
Listen, they ain't playing. All right, let's look at another one.
Witness the surge of patriotism in the UK. It's sweeping through the heart of London with so much passion and intensity. Welcome back to Nowhere Diary. Today, we'll take a look at UK patriots' powerful display of national identity as more and more British nationalists take to the streets, standing firm against Islamic protests and extremism. These brave souls are not just marching. They're declaring a battle to preserve the British way of life, our cherished values, and the very essence of what it means to be British. From the bustling crowds at Victoria Station to the historic echoes of Parliament Square, we'll bring you right into the heart of a movement that's gaining momentum by the day. With every chant and every banner, these patriots are sending a clear message. The time to defend our culture and ensure the future of Britain is now. But before we unpack this critical issue, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to stay updated with the latest insights. Trust us, you won't want to miss a beat of today's compelling story. Now, let's dive into the heart of the matter. So, in London, a powerful wave of patriotism is stirring as the UK patriots assemble to voice their deep-seated concerns over Islamic extremism and the actions of controversial preachers. This movement is fueled by a robust desire to protect and celebrate British culture and values, which they perceive as under threat from growing Islamist influences. As flags wave and chants fill the air.
Sound familiar? Coming to a city near you. Here we go.
People now are at boiling point.
Yeah, well, let me just show you first what the situation is this morning outside this Holiday Inn. You can see on the ground the glass, the shards of glass from where the rioters smashed in. The windows, chairs, flung about the place, fire extinguishers, which were used as weapons at one point yesterday.
In the northern English town of Rotherham, things took a troubling turn when far-right protesters attacked a hotel that was sheltering asylum seekers. The United Kingdom is already dealing with its most severe riots in over a decade, and this incident has only added to the chaos. On Sunday, a large crowd outside the Holiday Inn Express, which was serving as a temporary home for asylum seekers. The protesters threw bricks at the police, smashed hotel windows, even set trash bins on fire. Sky News footage captured a tense scene in Rotherham, where police with shields faced a storm of missiles, including planks, chairs, and fire extinguishers, as they tried to stop rioters from storming the hotel. A police helicopter hovered above, and at least one officer in riot gear was seen being carried away, highlighting the escalating violence. This unrest is the latest in a series of riots that have shaken the UK. The turmoil follows a
like I said, coming to a city near you. Nah, this Denmark. It ain't just your Ireland, Germany. Now this Denmark.
This is a deterrent. You could put it that way. It sounds very tough, but it's the alternative is that we simply don't have enough empty beds. We don't have enough space. We can't look after the people who come here.
The cost of an asylum seeker in Denmark is so much bigger than whatever people are carrying on them. It's really ridiculous. It's just a symbolic way of scaring people away. That's the purpose of it.
Denmark's political scene isn't just about left versus right. The Social Democrats, similar to the US Democrats, have been quite successful, winning 4 out of the last 6 elections and leading the country for 9 of the past 13 years. Despite this, Denmark now has some of the strictest immigration policies in Europe, no matter who is in power. Why is that? Denmark's policy change is driven by a mix of historical context, integration challenges, economic pressures, and political tactics. Traditionally, Denmark, like other Nordic countries, had a relatively open immigration policy. From the 19th century onwards, Denmark welcomed skilled workers and refugees fleeing political persecution. However, large waves of immigration in the latter half of the 20th century, especially from non-Western countries, brought new challenges. Despite efforts to promote challenges in integrating immigrants. For example, a 2021 report by the Danish think tank Den National Forskningscenter for Velfærd found that many immigrants are employed, but they often have lower paying jobs compared to native Danes.
No, really?
Language barriers and cultural differences can also hinder social integration. Statistics Denmark reports that in 2022, only 63% of non-Western immigrants aged 30, 64 had completed upper secondary education, compared to 92% of native Danes. The result? The influx of immigrants, many arriving with limited skills and qualifications, has put pressure on the Danish welfare system. In fact, a 2019 study by the Danish Ministry of Finance estimated that the net fiscal contribution, taxes paid minus benefits received, of an immigrant who arrived in 2014 would be positive only after 15 years in Denmark. And then, there are also security concerns. While not universal, instances of social unrest and worries about radicalization within some immigrant communities have increased, especially after the Mohammed cartoon controversy in 2005 and related terrorist attacks like the one in 2015. Unsurprising.
So you see the Global Compact of Migration. I urge you to go back and watch my video. I break it all the way down that these borders are not controlled by their country's government. It is controlled by the United Nations and the World Economic Forum because they signed on to the Global Compact of Migration. And that's a fact. I break it all down in that video. Now that was Denmark. Now here we go. Let's see.
They are scenes that are now happening daily in towns and cities across the country. In Liverpool, police officers coming under attack from a far-right mob. It was described as serious disorder. Police in running battles with some of those in the city streets. They knew protests were planned, but images show the scale of the crowds. And this just a few miles from Southport, where the attack on children at a dance class seemingly lit the fuse. Similar scenes in Nottingham, bottles thrown as fighting broke out. And in Blackpool, where more fighting broke out in the crowd, their loyalties very clear.
Any person organizing or taking part in the procession is committing an offense.
This is coming to a city near you in the United States. It's everywhere.
Section 40, subsection 2 of the British Nationality Act 1981 gives the Secretary of State, in practice the Home Secretary, power to deprive a person of British citizenship if satisfied that deprivation is conducive to the public good.
Well, I just did a video before this where the United States is escalating and giving citizenship to the illegals that cross the border for this election. Yes, they doing it. Yes, they are doing it. I thought that was going to be anyway, that video is UK begins canceling citizenship for Muslims and visa ban. This is the UK continues to crack down on Islamists.
Is this a good decision by the UK government? as it starts cancelling the citizenship of some Islamists. The United Kingdom has taken a bold step by implementing measures to revoke the citizenship of individuals who disregard British laws while abroad. Recently, there's been a notable case involving an Islamic woman nicknamed Shamima Begum, who was originally a British citizen. Unfortunately, her appeal to retain her British citizenship has been unsuccessful. As a result, she finds herself in a dire situation, effectively rendered stateless. Now she faces the bleak prospect of being confined to a detention camp in Syria for an indefinite period. Many are pondering.
Wow, because they took her citizenship. Now look at this. I'm just going to show you what's going on.
In the UK, you will be well aware that our media shows one agenda, especially with regards to the ongoing riots. However, today we want to share with you the truth. And to be perfectly honest, I can't believe that this is the UK. Hit the like and subscribe button, and let's get into it. In a disturbing turn of events in the UK, Muslims have again clashed with British nationals over the alleged burning of a mosque amidst the Southport stabbing. However, as we are all aware, only one side of the story gets shown, as it's clear two-tier policing is ongoing. This first clip shows a chant of some Islamic gibberish that I can't quite work out, but can you believe this is England and not somewhere in the Middle East? Here, check this clip. Honestly, I'm blown away every time watching that and can't seem to get over the fact that it's in England.
I mean, you can't. Look at this. I mean, they
Times
just.
over the last week, have you turned on your TV to see clips and images of British nationals being betrayed as violent, racist thugs? Whilst, yes, some are taking things way too far. The majority are conducting peaceful protests, and lefties do absolutely nothing wrong, are victims and completely innocent in this whole ordeal. However, as always, we are here to shed a light on the violence the other side are doing that is being hidden by the mainstream media. Hit the like and subscribe button and join our community. As we stated, you would believe, according to our government, it's only British nationals that cause violence. Over the last 24 hours, I have shared multiple clips showing the violence from the other side. Today, we head to Croydon as a video has emerged of African gangs throwing projectiles at police on our streets. Here is the clip. Now, I haven't seen this on any mainstream coverage. This is followed by the clip from
Coming to a city near you in the United States. That's going to be the beginning of the Civil War. Us versus them. Yes, it is. Now look at this. So we not the only country dealing with it.
Starmer's crack down on controlling social media posts. Earlier today, it was announced a 26-year-old man was sentenced to 3 years in prison for posting quote-unquote hateful and racist posts on social media. Whilst we don't condone violence, we simply want a better understanding at why our police are chasing social media posts and not crime that is happening on our streets. Earlier today, a video emerged of two knife-wielding migrants on the streets of Birmingham fighting with knives. Here is the clip.
This happening in New York. All of it that's happening here is work.
Whilst the instance was between two migrants, you can clearly see zero respect for our culture. As we mentioned, I would like a better understanding at why our police are pursuing posts on social media and not cracking down on these kind of people that are a danger to our streets. This video was...
And that's because, like I said before, European countries and the United States signed on to be a part of the Global Compact of Migration, sponsored by the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. Your borders are not controlled by the government. It is controlled by the NGOs, non-governmental agents, organizations, and the United Nations. Fact. We still in Britain.
This terrifying footage was recently filmed in Manchester city centre. But make no mistake about it, this is happening in towns and cities up and down the land. Now we have dissolved our borders. It shows the joys of mass immigration from these, let's just say, not very nice countries, and all the benefits it brings, especially for our female citizens. The city centre. They'll probably do nothing anyway, and they'll no doubt be back on the streets tomorrow. God forbid.
Sound familiar? Sound familiar?
This man. Basically, he's acting like it is normal behaviour, and he continues to do so while he's being filmed. It may be normal where he's from, but it certainly isn't here, though it pains me to say it is becoming more and more commonplace. And our wretched government is still allowing them to come here in massive numbers. Now, this migrant looks like he's come legally because he's got a college ID card, which makes this even worse. What kind of country is allowing this? If he's behaving like this in a busy city centre during the day, what will he be like in a secluded, dark alley? How long before it escalates into physical attacks?
Okay, let me get to the video.
Oh, he's done it again.
This hooded man appears to be lurking around Manchester and trying to scare and harass women.
Another girl. Oh, another one. It's a Muslim lady. Oh, the tram stopped it. Hope she's okay. Where is she? No, man, you don't touch me, dude. I've seen what you've been doing with the girls, dude. I've seen what you've been doing with the girls. Are you going to carry on doing that? I've got it all on video. Do you think scaring girls is a joke? How's it a joke if you're scaring girls? Why do you scare me? Does he keep doing it? Is he a right, let's get, come on, come with me, guys. Let's get this guy. Come on. Let's get this guy. Get him, get that guy. Get that guy, get that guy. Put it all on video, dude. What's your name, mate? What's your name? Did you get that card there? You got his name, yeah? You got his name. Mate. Let's have a look at that card. I don't think it's yours. Is that yours? What's your name? Let me see it. Let me have a look. Go on, let's go. Let me get his ID. Come on. Herman Pasquale at Manchester College. I've got some intel for you guys. My friend sent me a photograph of someone that was doing this the other day, and it looks awfully like this guy here.
Same thing going on there. I think I'm about to end this video. I got to get up early. But I just wanted to say the same thing that's going on in the United States is happening all over in Europe with the immigrants. I wanted to get in Project 2025 and back in my New World Order book. It's just so much going on, so much to talk about. I'm going to end with this one. Ooh. I'm going to end with, this is good.
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen, Ursula, dear Ursula, I think you need to hear in a straightforward way what most Europeans think about you. Choosing you to be the president of the European Commission in the previous term of office was a great mistake, and some still have a hangover because of it. You destroyed the European economy and agriculture. Europe becomes an open-air museum in terms of agriculture. Us Europeans are becoming poorer and poorer because of you. You are the face of the Migration Pact, and I'm talking to you as a woman to a woman, as a mother to a mother. How can you not be ashamed of promoting the Migration Pact, which means that millions of women and children in Europe feel endangered, threatened on the streets of their cities? You are responsible for every rape, every violent attack, every tragedy caused by illegal migrants, because you are inviting them to come to Europe. And for what you're doing, you should actually go to prison and not to the European Commission. Your presence as the president of the European Commission means a further collapse of the European Union. What do we think about your European Green Deal? This is what we think about this. This is what we think about the Migration Pact. You're not even looking at me. That's a shame. We want a Europe of free and sovereign nations. Defending the eastern border deserve a bow, a very deep bow from you. On that note,
Hey, don't be like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Good night. Yeah, I gotta
Well,
get
Judge
up.
Edward, I want to continue on this line of questioning.